Hello, wrestling fans. Welcome to Discuss Impact, already the number one most listened to Impact Wrestling podcast on all of Podbeans and a few other apps, even though we just got started. I'm JaySin here with the Horror King Gary, and this is a special podcast where we got some cool insider info for literally the first time ever. We're both going to do a quick minute or just a quick minute or less, what we call, I guess a shoot thing. Kind of myself being like my Twitter self lunatic on Twitter, where I'm just going to go crazy. You'll see. It's going to come in about 2 minutes. Then Gary will do his. We got some WWE news and much more. But first, I have to lead off by bringing back Dummy of the Week because, again, this is a special case, and it's going to Impact legend BQ, who days ago tweeted, "I'm really starting to come around on the Bully Ray storyline." The storyline, that's the end of the tweet. The storyline started at Bound for Glory. Gary, how long ago was Bound for Glory?
See,
How many episodes have we had since Bound for Glory?
I think this is the isn't this coming off from no, we're actually, I think this past week was the first of
Yes.
set of new tapings, right? And we had just left.
This was the second.
Yeah.
So this was the second week that they've had time to do this storyline.
Yeah.
But he just got into it. I mean, that's the top guy right there. All right. Sorry.
Well, I mean, let's be fair too.
Oh, wait. Sorry. Hang on, Gary. Okay, go ahead.
Well, just let's be fair too. We're kind of like in a pinch here. We've lost a lot of talent due to going elsewhere, and I mean, Bully Ray's going to be Bully Ray. He's compelling whether you like him or not. He's great on the mic, and I mean, what can you say? He's done it all.
Oh yeah, my point is, I mean, can you come around on something that started 2 weeks ago, like maybe 6 weeks? I mean, Christ. WWE's got a goddamn thing going on for a year with Roman Reigns.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Whatever, idiot. All right, so got your thoughts on that? Okay, WWE news before we get to the insider stuff. Impact Wrestling had advertisements or promos, whatever you call them, commercials on Monday Night Raw multiple times this week, which is absolutely huge. And I'm guessing the work of new guy, my boy LD. What do you think, Gary?
As far as hearing this news, it really shocks me. Just because, like I mentioned before we went live, I've never really remembered a regime that has taken it upon themselves to kind of get Impact to that new level by going big time with plugging the product. If this is the way we're going to go from here on out, big things on the way for Impact, I feel, Jay.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can hate WWE all you want. There's 2 million people watching it, and it's the biggest wrestling show. Like, there's no other better place to advertise. Like, no other anywhere. Like, you could stick it during a fucking MLB show. You could put it during the most, put it in the middle of goddamn Stranger Things. It's not going to matter. Those aren't wrestling fans. But WWE fans, I mean, you got a chance, especially, if they see some names, whatever. Okay, whatever. Nobody wants to hear about WWE, so let's get into the very special insider info time, which I wish I had a song for. I tried to find one a little like Insiders, it's insider time, but we didn't, so let's go. Now, this is from a source of mine, which I would never and have never said before, because I never had one, but it's not bullshit. And, hey, if it ends up being bullshit, then he was wrong about this, but... Sorry, I said he. Damn it, now they know it's a man. Okay, Shane Taylor and Hyan are under PPA agreements at this moment. Seems like they are being looked at to possibly be signed long-term. I would absolutely fucking love that. I love the both of them, and I think, Gary, I think you mentioned Shane Taylor. I mentioned Hyan like weekly. Not sure if I'm on here, but Twitter, I love the fuck out of her. And then the other one is Alex Tischer, Impact Wrestling is looking at, who is also known as Alexander Wolf, who debuted in WWE NXT as part of Sanity, where he won a tag team championship along with Eric Young, which I find very interesting, and maybe he's a man in the mask already.
Yeah.
Gary, thoughts?
I don't really know very much about this this faction you referred to in NXT, but I have heard it passed around in terms of like the exposure and everything. And I mean, if this is, if we're kind of like the old NXT is now pretty much gone, now it's kind of backfiring in our favor.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I actually didn't realize, but he was in Sanity, which was the Eric Young group that I guess was a shitty version of Violent by Design. And then he went to Imperium. And I'm not sure where. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's European. Oh, there you go, East Germany. Okay, so he is German. Where I mean, the Imperium was just like a badass German stable, and I'm sure a lot of wrestling fans know Walter, who is now going by Gunther, I believe. And yeah, whatever. I mean, he's a good wrestler.
So he's very much in the vein of, say, an old WCW talent. I don't know if you remember Alex Wright. He was German based.
I would say bigger, but yeah, I mean the whole German based thing.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, not going to get too nerdy, but I was also told that Impact is looking at guys like this, let's say from different parts of the world, where let's say they can be draws for certain places they go to, which is kind of interesting thinking, no?
Oh yeah. Well, I had somebody just today on Facebook. I don't know if he thinks I'm like an insider for Impact or what, but he was like asking me when Impact was going to start doing a tour over in the or not a tour, but when they'd be back on TV. And I told him,
like UK,
why not consider doing a tour? Because I know Scott D'Amore had said he would like to do that sometime next year. So
yeah, we have to be careful what we say. Some people think we're a little too powerful, but we're not yet. We will be, but not yet. Now, okay, it's time for our second, and I think, well, the insider thing. It's not going to be a weekly thing. I mentioned on Twitter. It's going to be whenever we get information, and I do have a little more, which I'll save for another time, maybe probably next week. But it's not going to be a weekly thing. It's just going to be whenever I get information, because a weekly thing would be bullshit, because that's not a real thing. So the new segment is myself and Gary were each going to shoot on anything wrestling related for about a minute or less, and then we will get right back to the Impact review and, no other bullshit. So I am going to use my time. Well, I guess I'm going to start it now. I'm not looking at a buzzer or anything, but go Jay now. I'm going to use my time to point out that I've recently noticed the majority of AEW Twitter fans are the dumbest humans on earth, who clearly multiply themselves with a ton of accounts to amplify their bullshit, or not even their bullshit, but Dave Meltzer's bullshit, which is like the saddest thing in the universe. This group of sheep are out there now defending injuries, wrestlers being injured, and they have absolutely nothing except WWE whataboutism. That's all they have. The two biggest stars in the company they ever had left within months, CM Punk and Cody. Ticket sales are fading. These dumbasses have the balls to call me an Impact mark, the guy who bitches about the Impact Twitter troll literally all the time. Yeah, that's right. I'm the Impact fight. I'm the Impact mark, you stupid... Oh, buzzer went off. Okay, Gary, your turn.
Yeah, I'm going to feed off that CM Punk wagon, if you will, for the fact that I'm seeing it being mentioned that Tony Khan wants to buy out the remainder of his contract. These are the same people that thought Punk could walk on water. Punk could save wrestling. Punk is the new Hulk Hogan. And less than what? How many months, Jay? How many months was he in
I don't honestly. I mean, well, somebody said he had an amazing year, which I was going to read their whole tweet because I just couldn't stop laughing. They said like he had one of the greatest years in professional wrestling, and so it might have been a year, but
okay.
I think it was a little bit less. And he put over nobody.
And that's my thing. I mean, I'm not going to lie. The mark in me that did like Punk in WWE, did go back and watch, his entrance in AEW just because I wanted to, see how that all went down. But I wasn't going to sit through an entire episode to hear that pop. And these are, like I say, these are the same people that, said he was going to save wrestling. And now I'm seeing a lot of their fans, if you will, are basically lynch mobbing the poor guy.
Oh yeah.
He's not only is he injured, so let's kick him when he's down. So I lose more respect for this promotion day in day out. So I repeat, I have to be honest with you, I would watch WWE today quicker than I would watch our good friends down south any day.
I got to say, we did not set that up, but that kind of rolled together very nicely there. All right, enough of that. It is Impact Wrestling time. The review for Thursday night show, which was, goddamn, it's a Sunday now, so I'm not even sure. Okay, October 20th. Sorry, it took me a little on that one. And let's start off with our overall grades. Gary, you got one ready, or else I'll throw mine out there.
I think I'll let you go because I think I've said it before, so I think I'll let you go tonight.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm pretty sure I think I know what you're gonna say, but for me, this one was or actually recently, they've kind of had like I think up and down shows where in the past they were more just amazingly consistent, but it's definitely due to the roster turnover where we were talking before we recorded. It kind of feels like they're going through a reboot situation.
Yeah, well, on paper, this one going into this week's show, I was expecting it to be a bit of a disaster just because of like all the backlash it was getting with all the just some of the reading of the spoilers. It by far wasn't as good as or as powerful as last week's, but apparently 411 must be agreeing with us a little bit here about this week's episode because they gave it a 6.7 out of 10.
Wait, am I looking at the wrong week? No, I see 7 out of 10.
Yeah, well,
unless they have 2 reviews, maybe.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know. That's what I saw somebody say 6.7, but
okay, sorry, it's just I got it right now. Let me just make it clear. 7.0. Someone lied to you.
That's what you're going with you?
Well, no, I'm just saying that's the full one grade, okay. 7.0. But yeah, I'd go, pretty close, 7.3, something like that. I liked last week's a lot more, but this wasn't bad. And I understood it, like, I don't know. I guess the more like when we talked like about the whole kind of reboot situation and people leaving and like I know like you said like Bully's getting a lot of shit from people and Mia left and the Honor No More guys pretty much all left except PCO, who thank you Impact Wrestling for keeping. I don't know if we mentioned it. Did we, Gary?
What's that?
PCO resigning or signing?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. You kind of threw me off there. Yeah, he's signed for basically a contract extension that takes him into Halloween of next year. So
fantastic.
We
absolutely fantastic.
Got more of his madness on tap for the Impact Nation. So we'll see how 2023 turns out with old PCO.
Absolutely fantastic. I was actually talking to someone interesting about PCO and how they would use them, and I just totally agreed. Like when Halloween comes around, like that's the guy who should be on like posters, like even toys and shit. Like, and I threw in Rosemary, of course, who even though she bashed me and I had to block her.
Oh yeah, shameless plug here too. PCO has a shirt currently available on shopimpact.com. So looks pretty cool. It's be very festive for this time of the year, right? With Halloween, being tad for a couple weeks.
Oh yeah, but don't you agree? Like God, like a PCO, like a Rosemary, like even like Halloween costumes.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of money there on the off the table that Impact could see on the table if they would maybe go that extra step.
Like he's just God. I just love like he throws out pictures and I just smile. You know what I mean? Like God, he's just a wrestling goddamn character, like an old school, makes me smile. Whatever. Okay.
Well, I already got an idea for him anyway. For why not stick him in one of the Gravitas Venture movies?
Exactly.
Very much like they did with Kane and the WWE. Why not do that with PCO?
Damn it, Gary! I told you we have to keep ideas like that to ourselves because clearly they're not stealing. But recently I don't know if people have. I'm sure fans know Twitter. So Impact. What are they promoting? A horror movie, I believe.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was.
Well, I forget the name. I forget the name,
what it is, but I can't really remember what I have to know about it currently.
Yeah, well, all we have to know is they started promoting movies pretty recently. I'm not taking credit. Gary's the horror guy, so he's the goddamn genius behind that one. But horror and wrestling go together very well if you do it correctly and use the right people. And I really think Rosemary and goddamn PCO and probably forgetting someone. Oh, I threw in Ace Austin because of the cool hair. I could see people want to like dress like Ace Austin. But whatever. Let's get to the show. Now, speaking of Ace Austin, actually, I was wrong. Thank you, 411, that I happened to see this because I thought it happened last week. So the Bullet Club saw Ace Austin was down in the parking lot. Tommy Dreamer was there, but denied it. Like, he took him out. Then the opening match was Dreamer and Bully versus Bay and Juice Robinson, taking the place of Ace Austin. What'd you think about this match?
It was good, but it was a bit convoluted a lot, too, because I felt like the pacing of it, obviously Tommy Dreamer's not as inept in the ring as he used to be. Bully Ray looked on key or on point, but Tommy Dreamer looked a little bit off here, I thought, maybe because of ring rust or whatever. And I don't know. I just didn't really like the matchup on the card because it was two opposite teams. One that was high flying and one that had been, probably seen the better part of a ring one last, time too many, if you will. But
totally agree.
Very short.
Totally agree. It looked like the other guys had to like kind of slow down for him. You know?
I always like that. It doesn't look good on TV.
No, totally could not agree more. I don't want to say it made like Bay and the other and Juice look bad, but it just looks weird, But hey, respect to Bully, man. Jesus.
Oh yeah.
Not only can he talk, but he can still wrestle. Like Christ. I mean, he doesn't. I don't know. I don't think he gets the respect he deserves. Like, there's a lot of older guys who look like shit when they come back, and like, I don't know if he's been in NWA. Maybe I don't think so, but whatever. The point is, good. I mean, good on him. Always one of the best, maybe one of the best talkers ever. And then they had a thing backstage where
Heath,
Dreamer and Billy got the win. Just wanted to mention that there. They
hit him with a bubble bomb.
Yeah, I did like how they beat not the Impact guy, Juice.
Oh yeah, me too.
I take that as a small win, even though I don't love. I don't know. I feel like they could have thrown in some kind of bullshit. But I guess the bullshit was they weren't prepared for those two. Still, it's Tommy Dreamer. I think maybe still a little more bullshit, but no big deal. And I guess we'll see where this goes. I feel like it's so goddamn obvious already, and I don't know. I'm curious what you think. I feel like Bully is just like totally obviously a heel and playing a face.
Yeah, I can see that point. I don't know. I feel like Impact wants to get us to believe that it is possible that maybe he'll be good for a change. I just get that feeling we're like we've been booking the opposite direction. I have a feeling this might kind of be in that same category where we're trying to make us think that he could possibly be the one. But then it might, like I say, we could see a debut at like maybe at the end of the year.
Okay, no, actually, you just changed my mind. You win. It's too obvious. You're right. No, you're right. Totally right. It's too obvious that he would be a heel. I mean, he even like the way he talked to Bay after the match. Like, I would never do this. You're a good guy. Like it looks like he's being such a dickhead.
Yeah.
Like he's going over the top to do it. Maybe. And yeah, you're right. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's somebody like fucking Macklin or like EY's group, which
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it could be a free agent for all we know. You know, somebody under the radar.
Yeah, I do love the whole whodunit thing. Now, if I'm Impact Twitter, I would actually have like a big whodunit thing, and you have like a list of names and shit, and be like, "Who do you think did it?"
Yeah, play off the J.R. Ewing.
Yeah, maybe.
JR.
Maybe I'll steal that and just tweet it myself. But nobody really seems to give a shit about my Twitter unless I'm bashing AEW. Then everybody in the goddamn internet pops in. All right, so Mia versus Taylor Wilde. Wilde got the win. I really like Taylor Wilde. I don't think there's anyone who doesn't. She's just incredibly likable. She's good in the ring. She's a good talker. She's kind of a legend. Would you say she's a legend? I don't know. Why did my voice just change?
Yeah, well, But like Taylor Wilde there, Jay. No, no, no. But really though, yeah, Taylor Wilde. For the brief amount of time she's been, like, she really hasn't had a lot of like ring experience in terms of being in wrestling a long time.
Yeah.
But she's been in with some of the best. I remember years ago when she took on Awesome Kong, and I couldn't believe how it looked so believable how she was holding her own against such a huge opponent. Yeah. And I look at her today, I don't, for the age difference, I do not see any slowing down of her in-ring ability. If anything, I think she's picked up some things that I don't remember she used to pull out of her bag, to face some of her opponents like she's been doing lately.
Yeah.
It's been incredible.
Again, I agree. I think she looks great. Also, I think she looks great in the way of, just being hot. Can I say that? Sorry, just checking with my sponsor. Yeah? Okay. Yeah. So, this is going to lead to, well, Mia's gone. So I kind of like the way they did this. Like, they didn't do a stupid, like, oh, let's have Mia win before she goes because we love Mia in wrestling. That's stupid. Doesn't help anyone. So Mia loses to Wilde. Wilde looks a little better on, even though she's kind of a big deal already. When she comes back, Mickey pops in, and it looks like they got a match coming between those two. And then VXT and Giselle come in before Jordan Grace comes down and beats the piss out of Giselle, who is too stupid to run away like her friends. Think I got all that right?
Yeah. I was just going to say, too, I like this idea of Taylor Wilde and Mickey facing each other because they're very similar in stature. They do a lot of kicking and things of that nature. So I think this could be the match of the year in Impact for knockouts, just because they both have that experience factor. They've seen it all. They pull out a big win when they need to. And I don't know. I'm just looking really forward to this matchup because, like I say, these two girls move similar in the ring.
And I really enjoyed Jordan coming down just like a monster, unlike everyone ran except Giselle, who just got destroyed. And I actually heard one fan yell, "You killed her!" Sorry.
Excuse me, it's the Juggernaut, Jay.
Oh, sorry, the Juggernaut. One fan yelled, "You killed her!" It came out so perfectly, and you can hear it. I thought that was really funny. I missed it, but I actually loved how pumped Heath was backstage. Like, Rhino was always pumped, but Heath was just screaming, and I loved that segment.
Yeah, well, sometimes you'll pick. This is kind of weird part of the show. I noticed in the crowd there was this little girl. I don't know what the heck the mother and father were doing, but it looked like all she was wearing was a shirt that was just a handkerchief.
During the match?
Towards the top of the ramp. I'm like, I would have got that. Jesus. You know what I mean? I would have not got that shot on the camera. It's just
maybe not show shit like that on television.
You know what I mean? Because we're showing stuff with the commercials and stuff. I don't know. I just noticed that. It's kind of cringy for me to see that because I was like, why are these parents letting their kid wear a?
Well, I blame you, upstate weirdos. Sorry, Gary's not from that part of upstate. He's from a cool part. He's from a cool part that isn't this place. But yeah, that's pretty weird. So maybe check your cameras, guys.
So cool. We get feet of snow, if you could say feet. I don't know. Yeah. You get feet of snow up there, and
sure.
Not very uncommon.
Feet of snow, like feet of whatever. I can't think of it. All right, so JaySin Hotch, who I like. I think he has a cool look. Versus Joe Hendry, who everybody seems to like because he sings. And I mean, I honestly think that's it. I mean, not to bash the guy, but singing is there's so many goddamn singing shows these days. People fucking love singing. So I think that's it's a simple thing that I can see him having a lot of fans for. And he got the win here. And I don't know. I guess they have a ongoing feud.
Oh, with Hotch?
Yeah.
That I don't know. It kind of plays like it is, because he's like didn't he refer to him as a singing guy, and then they had like some backstage like a run in kind of thing, and Hotch was kind of feeling like overshadowed by.
I don't know if he beat him already, but he took the call your shot spot that Hotch was supposed to have.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, and now what did they say there? With Frankie Kazarian vacating the title, now there's an 8-man tournament to crown a new champ.
Gotcha. Yeah, in case so we don't confuse people. So Kazarian gave handed it over to Scott, did the whole little talk, and they are having an 8-man tournament taking place at Overdrive when I believe it's the end of November.
Let's see.
Not that.
Have it up here somewhere.
Oh, not that important. I did like the promo from Kazarian about getting married, having a son, and all that.
Yeah, it's November 18th.
Yeah, November 18th, so that's cool. So good promo by Kazarian. And I like Macklin getting him from behind. I feel like Macklin's kind of been taking the shit side of most things lately. I don't know a better way to say that, but I want to see Macklin kicking ass and not losing. And so this was a good start, taking out Kazarian here. Not sure what's going to happen with the rest of that. Josh came out and made good guys. Josh came out with Kazarian, whatever, blah blah blah. Eddie Edwards finally shows up, and Honor No More wants to know what the F is your deal, Eddie. Eddie tells them they will find out, and I'm very curious about this. I mean, I guess what the hell else can they do since 90% of Honor No More is gone? So,
let's not forget too. Alicia had given him an ultimatum to be with her, or Honor No More too.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, and that was like where they were kind of like, I don't know. I've kind of felt like the Honor No More
I like that
action was kind of like, they wanted to mimic her, but it is Eddie's wife, but
yeah,
kind of respecting it. And I liked. It almost felt like Robles might have got his storyline had not.
Yeah,
of Honor No More left Impact.
Yeah, I really thought it was going that way. I really did. But
it started looking like that though.
But I do like that. I mean, listen, this is a ridiculous situation they were in where they lost like 5 guys, and they, it does make sense. But like they have the leader, and then his wife telling him, make a decision between me and them, like it. So like that, like I like how they made sense out of it.
Yeah, well, the way it abruptly ended too is that's what I like about Impact. They make the most, they take something that's insurmountable and make it believable. You know what I mean? Like most promotions can't pull off that kind of thing, like because they don't know what it's like to have to lose talent because they can guarantee someone under contract for 2 years, 3 years, whereas Impact, this new faced Impact, can't really guarantee anybody anything like that unless they're one of the ones for lifers or whatever, like your Eddies, your Moose, your Sami Callihan. If you're like one of those guys, you're pretty much safe. But if you're kind of like on the fence and you're out the door, like with Morrissey and so many other wrestlers like that,
Oh, God. Wow, Morrissey's not even on AEW TV anymore. Wow, holy shit! How quick was that? Wow. Sorry, that just reminded me about Morrissey. Like he popped on AEW for like a week. Like, oh, look at this.
So he went missing in action already.
And then a week later, he was part of this shit stable that's already gone. Oh my God, what a disaster! Thank God we're talking about a so much better show that actually makes sense, and booking things make sense and lead to other things, and there's actual stories like Kazarian dropping the title and they're becoming an 8-man tournament. AEW would just have a fucking 8-man tournament because it's Thursday or whatever day of the week they're on. Wednesday, who cares? They suck. So back to the show here. Eric Young where the hell did I lost my spot. Where the hell was the Eric Young match? Did Eric Young win?
Oh, with Rich Swann.
Oh yeah, there it is, Rich Swann.
It is the fourth match of the night.
There you go. Gotcha. Okay. Diener showed up. Distraction. But Swann reversed it, got the win in a very, very quick match, which was kind of oddly quick, no?
Yeah, it definitely was. But I think that's kind of what we're doing here is for all the like the negative reinforcement that VBD is doing. They sometimes are their own worst enemy in the ring because like they get distracted like from different things. Kind of like some people would almost say it's like overbooking the match, if you will, because like so much is going on outside the ring, and then you add the mix of Sami Callihan, who I guess we're going to be getting that EY and Sami Callihan showdown for weeks ahead. So
yeah, I agree. I could see that, but also I didn't mind because everything kind of made sense, like I was just saying, and I always love Rich Swann winning. I mean, again, I always point out this guy was the goddamn guy who lost to Kenny Omega.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Like he shouldn't be like a guy, like an extra guy who's just like who's seen as like a random guy. You know, they should always be mentioning former world champion. You know?
Oh yeah, they definitely should plug him. I do think he could be in that title scene again if you build him back up. You just can't. I just don't want him to be like a makeshift singles wrestler who just gets thrown into the mix because he was a former. You know what I mean? I want him to kind of
it's kind of has to
make sense.
Yeah, that's kind of where he's been, and I mean it's right for a story of just to talk to him or him to be down I lost my boy. What the hell was his name?
Oh, Willie Mack.
Yeah, I lost my boy Willie Mack. I lost my title. He can even, who knows, bring up some family shit. That's bullshit. Or if it's real, I don't know. But you know what I mean? And then you can bring him back up based on.
Well, I wouldn't mind seeing Impact try to. I don't know what Caprice Coleman's up to, but I wouldn't mind seeing Caprice Coleman try to come in as be his tag team partner.
Yeah, I think he could use one of those. I mean, the tag team division is actually getting pretty decent, or.
Yeah, it doesn't feel so makeshift as much as it did, say, 3-4 months ago, like where it seemed like every singles wrestler who didn't have really a storyline was kind of like with your TJP with what's his name, Follow Ba. I kind of felt like makeshift, and the only reason why they went that way is because of their heritage, which is all right, but I don't know, in 2020, it's kind of.
Yeah, it's kind of like the opposite of what they're trying to do, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so post match, we get a yellow hoodie guy who is clearly Eric Young's new crew or whatever, and I'm thinking maybe this is the dude I mentioned earlier, who Wolf or whatever the hell. I forget his other name, but
okay, yeah, I did get a good look at his face.
You saw his face? I didn't.
Yeah, well, somewhat. Was he bearded? Does he have a beard?
I believe he does.
Yeah, and that's what he did, but I didn't know if he was just some random, bouncer or something. I didn't know.
I mean, if it helps, he has a German-looking face.
Yeah,
I feel. I mean, I don't know if that's racist. I feel like if you just look at me like, oh, that dude's German. So it's kind of easy to tell, but I don't know.
Who's that big wrestler that's from the UK? He kind of
Galloway.
Huh?
Galloway?
No, there's this. I don't know. He's kind of like a Dave Mastiff. He's somebody. If he's out there, if Scott's looking for talent, he's somebody I would look.
Yeah, I like him.
To get him, just because he's so fluent in the ring, and he's kind of like a Samoa Joe, but with more agility.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a while, but I did like him when I did. And speaking of the tag team division, the Major Brothers had a little promo. They want to tag titles. That is Zach Cardona. Let's just stick with that. And my boy Brian Myers, who I absolutely love. Awesome character. And now how about the brackets for the X title tournament? Black Taurus versus Laredo Kid. PJ Black, the returning PJ Black, versus me. Alan Angels or Angles. I don't know. Kenny Omega likes him a lot and went like 25 minutes with him once. So he's exactly as good as Kenny Omega based on an AEW match, I can say, versus Trey Miguel. And then Kenny King versus Mike Bailey. So pretty stacked. And I will say I like every one of these guys except for, I don't want to say I don't like Black Taurus being in this, but I just don't feel like he's an X guy compared to like how everyone else is very X-y. But it's not a huge knock. I mean, I love Black Taurus, and he's very close to being an X Division guy, and I guess you could say he is. I don't know.
Well, once again, Jay, I'd like to throw it out there. It wasn't 2 podcasts ago. I think we mentioned why not mix things up with a tournament.
Well, sometimes I forget how good we are, but yeah. I mean, I say. Like,
lo and behold, here we get.
That's right. Yeah. We were talking about how many tournaments like AEW has, but I think people like them. Like, I think I really, like I like tournaments sometimes, but as long as you're not doing them every goddamn week like those idiots, if you do them like once every few months, like it's cool as hell. Like friggin' what's the name? I know it wasn't a tournament, but the Bound for Glory series. Like I know everyone wants that shit back. They wanted it for years. That was so cool. I think the problem they can't do it is because like they don't have enough signed people, or they don't know who's going to be signed. But maybe one day.
Well, and 2, I've noticed Impact is kind of skipping the Thanksgiving route this year. With I don't know if they're going to have anything to do with the theme for Thanksgiving, but I do notice too, under this regime, we got a live event days after. Was it days after? Or, let's see. Yeah, it's actually. No, days before Thanksgiving with Overdrive, which the old regime would have never, did some kind of live event that close to a holiday. So thank you, Anthem, for
just a live show, not taped.
No, it's going to be on Impact Plus and
okay.
some insiders and whatnot. But I mean, that's just sort of neat, like because
we have
that to look forward to in the month of November and December.
I complain a lot, but I mean, I love Impact, and it's very cool. We get all these specials, not counting the pay-per-views. And I think what we're left with is the main event, Honor No More, which is no more after this match. After Heath and Rhino took them down in a pretty good match. I enjoyed it. Kind of sad. I feel like this was a weird show because I was like, I don't know, like watching this in the Mia Yim match, it was like, you know what I mean? Like, kind of knowing, like, from not even spoilers, like just from news.
Well, they basically built PCO up into like an even more rejuvenated monster when he took out all the members of the team, which was a good way to end it. But I've seen some people say it was kind of hokey for them a little bit, but I don't know. I was fine with it. It ended the way I wanted it to. They're all going them separate ways, all but PCO and Kenny King. What very much you could do, you have to book it that way.
Yeah. They did the best job I think they could have done. And I do think, it would have been nice. I mean, perfect world. Rhino and Heath would have had a few more matches together before this because Heath was kind of like the guy on his own. But, sometimes you got to stick shit together when you're in a jam. And this is what they were in with Honor No More leaving. And, Heath and Rhino, they were a good team in WWE. People fucking loved them, man. They sold a lot of merch and shit. Like, they're not a joke. Like, they're a solid tag team. And, entertaining. And like you said about the post-match, I mean, God, almost perfect for me. PCO just murdering everyone. If every show ended like that, I'd be smiling, I think.
Well, it felt very ECW-like, too, just because, like, he didn't care about his body, and he's just, like, diving on everybody. And I don't know, just at his age, at 54, to do all that and not get hurt is an amazing feat in itself. So can't ask much more out of the character of PCO.
Yeah, I do have to wonder what the hell Eddie has been thinking this whole time. Like, why go with, like, if you're going to mess with someone in that group, you're going to pick PCO of all people.
Yeah, I wonder that too. I mean, like, I know I got looking at that too. Like, who? I think if I was going to pick on anybody, it'd probably be Vincent.
Yeah, it sure as fuck wouldn't be that dude.
Bennett.
Yeah, Bennett. Yeah. Yeah, no, I think
I think he'd play well off being like talked down to. You know what I mean? Like,
Bennett would be busy tweeting trying to get back with WWE at the time. So
yeah, I hate how we've taken so many chances on Bennett and Maria.
Seriously,
Leave.
I mean, I don't mind Maria because she brings.
No, I totally get that. Yeah,
she brings something to the table, whereas Bennett is just the guy in a tag team.
Yeah.
But you're right, totally. And if this fucking guy wants to come back in 2 years, please say no. Like there has to be a point where you say no. You know what I mean? Like you're right. Like he even bashed Impact, dude. Like it wasn't even like he just left. He bashed them when he left. He talked about he did the old fucking money thing. Like, oh, I didn't get paid. You know what I mean? I got paid late or whatever. Like he said what people wanted to hear, which is his gimmick on Twitter. Now he's everybody. I love wrestling. I love everyone. Like he's.
Well, that's the thing is with the Hardys. I know a lot of people got sick of seeing them in Impact after a while. But my thing is with them, they always respected the hell out of Impact. And look, hell, Matt Hardy came back to the show when shortly after he left us, and he came there. What was it? That tag team?
Oh, that tag team thing. Well, sorry, I have to jump in with maybe they were not so respectful when Jeff came out all fucked up during a pay-per-view. To be fair.
Oh.
That was one of the craziest things I've ever seen in wrestling.
Yeah. Are you talking about when he came to the ring against Sting?
Yeah, was that Victory Road or something? And he was just like,
clearly that pay-per-view after that it felt cursed ever, and not that the pay-per-views after that with that moniker were bad, but it just kind of every time you were like, is this the year we're going to get our Jeff Hardy moment?
Yeah, just absolutely insane. But I guess I don't know what they could have done, and I forget who was running shit back then, but whatever, not the point. And shit, I think I thought I had one more point and I'm forgetting it because I just started cooking dinner like an idiot. Well, I guess that's about it then. If I can't figure out my point in the next few seconds, or I'm going to ramble a little, then let you ramble a little while I try and think of the point I was trying to make before we ended. So how's your horror channel going that you should plug? Oh, wait. Oh, I got it. We were talking about pay-per-views. How did the latest pay-per-view do?
Actually got almost 2,000 pay-per-view buys, which is basically up 46% from Slammiversary. So we must be doing something right.
You can round that number up. Yeah, fuck that. That's how we do it here. We round things up. That is 50% up from the last pay-per-view, folks.
And speaking of pay-per-view, in February we have an updated event for No Surrender, which is going to be back in Vegas, where our tapings are going to be hitting here at Sam's Town this Thursday. We're going to be in that same venue. I guess they must have offered the tickets, I guess, went on sale, I guess, during those tapings, I guess, because I heard they were doing really well with those already, too. And that's going to be a 3-night event. You got No Surrender on that Friday. And then Saturday, you got back-to-back tapings for 4 weeks of TV, not the 6 weeks that people thought we were going to get, but 4.
Also, damn it, we had something else on a pay-per-view. Damn it, weed. Shit, sorry, hang with us here for a minute, folks, or you can just leave while I try and think of the other thing.
Something that's going to happen at Overdrive?
Oh, no. God damn. Amazing how I keep remembering these things when I shouldn't. So you also mentioned before we recorded that Impact is selling tickets way ahead of time, something I never understood why they didn't.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Somebody had observed that, and I was like, yeah, they're not wrong. Impact in the past was, like you had mentioned, that they'd wait till the month before, and you'd be lucky if, you'd get a mention of it, like the middle taping of like the taping before the pay-per-view, Yeah,
I mean, I don't know if it was, what's the word when people aren't I don't know if it was like disorder with the company.
Like
they couldn't do things like that. But I had a goddamn sorry, I'll just do this really quick here, but I was part of a site, if anyone doesn't know, called Discuss PW, where we sold wrestling tickets, or I sold wrestling tickets because the owner didn't do shit until I left. Literal fact. And I would post the events when I found them on Eventbrite or Ticketmaster. So it was before Impact would even, it would be like a month or two sometimes before Impact would even mention these events were things. And our site was already selling tickets to these things. And like I kept trying, I was messaging them like, are you seeing this? Like, even if it's 5 extra tickets, you know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't you want those sold? Like, why limit the time of how fast someone can get tickets? Like, putting tickets out 6 months ahead of time. Like, the more time, like, the more fans. It seems, I don't know. Like, I didn't know shit about wrestling back then. I feel like I know a lot more now. But that felt obvious then, and it feels obvious now. And I'm just so happy they're finally doing it.
Yeah, well, I mean, something's going on with us. We once again this week we trended number 2 in Russia. So I don't know if our
shit.
Masha fans are tuning in, but hey, if we ever get this problem straightened out with Russia, who knows?
Jeez, I don't think she was even on the show this week, was she?
No, that's the thing. And trending number 2. Well, imagine their disappointment.
Well, to any Russian fans listening, let me just say she'll be back next week, so keep tuning in. And shit, that goes back to that idea earlier I was talking about from my source, how they're looking at people from different places in the country. So Masha could be a huge draw in Russia, possibly. We don't know, but like you said, trending number 2. I mean, I don't know if they have any other
Last
Russians.
week it was number 1, so
I mean, I don't know of any other Russians on the roster. Maybe there is, but I mean, Masha trended number 1. I was pretty sure. I think she was on last week.
We might have to get that. What was that former wrestler up north there, Rusev? if
yeah,
wrestling.
Oh yeah. Well, he's buried in Jacksonville already, along with thousands of other wrestlers who, oh god, it's like a train wreck that I can't look away from. Like, I'm not a fan. I don't watch the shows. I can't not be interested in all of the insane shit that's happening with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's great. Every day there's something.
It's hard to follow anything when it's overfilled with too much talent because they don't get enough hours of TV time to showcase what they can do. So it's kind of counterproductive.
And their business issues are more interesting than their storylines.
And they have no unity backstage either.
Oh,
In fact, you get they're a family. You see these Twitter pictures of they hanging out, they're singing, you know.
Somebody even said that about WWE. Like, even though it's a huge thing, like, it's totally. I forget what wrestler it was. They were like, it's a totally different thing. Like, WWE is like, it's huge, but you know, there's catering. People are walking around being cool to each other. Like AEW, like everyone's staring at their phones. Like, it's all children. You know what I mean? Like, or like just everyone's in their own world. Like,
well, I feel like for me, they've taken too many shots at my precious Impact. I mean, they stole their stomping grounds to do tapings, which makes sense because they're based out of Florida, but then they brought the tunnels back, and it's too hard for me to like this show because it seems almost like they're taking it and trying to like think they can do it better just because they have more money.
Yeah, that's exactly what they think, and they can't, and they've proven it time and time again with all kinds of different talent. Jesus Christ, LAX, possibly the greatest tag team in the world, has not wrestled a tag match in possibly over a year. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, just and how do you mess up with the knockout with what's her name? Really popular.
Madison?
No, she wears face paint.
Oh, well, they messed up with Madison also.
Thunder Rosa.
Oh, yeah.
Because I mean, like, she's even gotten a negative skepticism about them because they're like interviewing her and they're saying like she's faking an injury and I don't know, it's just not the way you come at somebody like Thunder Rosa.
Oh yeah, no, it's like a whole thing. She seems like an extremely legit person, which is hard to tell on social media, but like she just speaks her mind. She does charity work and shit. And I think there was actually something like they weren't behind the charity she was behind. And that caused this fucking scene, you know what I mean? Like fuck you, I'm your champion. You're not gonna go with my charity. Like, are you fucking kidding?
There's a lot of promotions out there that would kill for a Thunder Rosa.
Yep, and they got her in, doing nothing with her like nobody else. They need to push someone young like Serena Deeb, which they're currently doing, pretending she's some huge star, and Willow Nightingale, who, no offense, but is probably one of the most mid wrestlers ever. I don't know if you know what mid means, Gary, but it's what the kids are saying these days for like basic as fuck.
Yeah, I've seen her before. I've seen her in ROH. What was it? Can't think of his name. The commentator for Ian Riccaboni kind of putting her over, but I'm like, dude, I love Ian. I like his commentary, but
I can see
dude. I'm not sold on her.
I can see my eyes. I can see my eyes, Ian. Sorry, I'm watching the match. You're really good at selling, but you're not that good.
Yeah, the inner Ring of Honor fan, I'm trying to show her the code of honor by not, bashing her or whatever. I just don't see it. She's not a good fit she wasn't a good fit for the promotion.
No, I've seen her everywhere. She's just a decent wrestler, that's all. She's
very likable persona, but
oh yeah, definitely. She's Allison Kay's partner. That's what she is. She's Marty Jannetty.
Yeah.
That's all. You got Marty Jannetty, who's not the worst, Actually, maybe a little worse than Marty Jannetty. Marty Jannetty was a pretty good wrestler.
Yeah, I mean,
Marty. Yeah. Sorry, she's a few steps down from Marty.
Yeah, but I know what you mean, though. It's like he never really got his due, or
maybe Marty Jannetty at this point in his life because he's a complete fucking lunatic. So, but in terms of wrestling ability, if that makes any sense, which it doesn't. So I think that's where we should probably end it. Don't want to get to an hour.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a really a downright decent show. I mean, it was what it was. I mean, I think it was probably one of the weaker amount of talent pool that we've had at a taping in a while. To be fair.
Oh yeah, I mean,
that's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to book things to make it maybe be a home run. For somebody that watches.
But I mean, I think that's how good they are. Like.
Yeah.
If you look at the matches on this card, like there's really not one very good match. I mean, some people. I mean, if you go by 411, they would say there wasn't one good match. Everyone was like okay at best, which I can't really argue with based on the talent. But still, like it's Impact. They're just so good with stories and shit that even 411, who bashed almost every match, gave it a 7.
Well, did you notice like they amped up the storylines a lot more too to benefit for the weaker card? Like it felt like they did a lot of everything last week.
Yeah, you said much better what I was thinking and trying to get out there. Well done, like usual. And that's why Gary's here, folks, to make me sound smarter.
Oh, and I have one note before we go, and then you can say whatever you got to say. Our ratings were up again this week. We just missed 100,000, but our demo was down 0.01. So we were down in the demo, but we went up in the ratings. So we did pretty good considering, what was it, a month ago we were fighting to get 70,000 views. So
yeah. I like to melter those situations. So if the viewership is higher, we just mention the viewership, and if the other one is higher, we just mention that because he likes to bounce around on which one is more important. So if Dave Meltzer can do that, I'm pretty sure we can. So
yeah,
we'll probably be doing that in the future because we like to keep it positive here when it comes to Impact, and that's about it. See you next time.
Have a good weekend.